Assalamu alaikum, this is Professor Muhammad Hassan Khan, and today we are going to start chapter number 9 of week 9 of the course Retail Supply Chain Management. So let's move toward the topics, and this chapter is mainly about supply chain strategy and risk management. And these are the topics that we have to cover in this chapter. Let's see the topics, which is what is strategic planning, strategic supply chain planning, types of supply chain strategies, understand supply chain risk, risk identification in supply chain, risk mitigation techniques. So these are our topics, all like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 topics. So let's move toward our first slide, that what is the strategic planning. We all know that strategic planning is a long-term designed to ensure the support of overall business objective. What is planning? Like, planning is basically is done for the long-term purpose, and it's like for the support of overall business objective. It defines how a company will operate and compete using its capabilities. A strong strategic planning, PLANN. I think I write the wrong spelling. Planning improves efficiency, reduce cost, enhance customer satisfaction, and build competitive advantages. What it's doing, it like improves it improves improving. It improves efficiency. First thing, reduce cost. Second thing, third, enhance customer satisfaction, which is the third thing. Yeah, and build competitive advantages. So these are the four, or you can also add more than that. So these are, like, you can strong things with which are achieved by a strategic planning, and we already know that it's done for the long term purpose. And why basically business do to ensure support of overall business objective, because if any business is running without any kind of planning, so that business will not be run for the long term. It may be like collapse, or if it run for some time, or you can say that it will run for a short term, and short term, or the you can say that or it's not going to be reach the benefits, or you can say that make a lot of money in that business. So we have already discussed that what is strategic planning. Let's see the strategic planning. Strategic supply chain planning involves what is in the strategic planning supply chain involves. So the strategic planning in supply chain involves, these are the things: designing efficient supply chain network. These are the things that involves in strategic supply chain. Okay. Second thing is managing capacity and resources. Third thing, building supplier and partner collaborations, planning for demand and supply balance. For you can say that fifth thing is aligning supply chain goals with business. So these are the planning, strategic plannings in supply chain. First of all, designing. Secondly, managing. Third thing, building suppliers. Fourth thing, planning for demand and supply. Fifth thing, align supply chain goals with business goals. These are, you can say that, the five strategic plannings in the supply chain involved in it. Okay, these are: first, design; managing; building; planning; and last, aligning. Let's talk about the key strategic planning. What are the key elements? First of all, forecasting and demand planning, inventory strategy, procurement strategy, production and distribution strategy, a customer service strategy. So these are the key elements of strategic planning. Okay, forecasting, inventory, procurement, production, customer service. This is the first stage. Second stage, third stage, fourth stage, fifth stage. So these are, you can say that, these are the stages of the strategic supply chain planning. First of all, forecast, that how much demand to be fulfilled by the customer, need of the customer. Then for that, inventory, that how much inventory we have to put. Procurement, start purchasing or procuring. Then production and distribution. After that, it should be distribution. Then at last, that is customer service strategy. So these are the steps, or you can say that the building points. You can say that these are the steps involved in this strategic planning. Let's talk about the type of strategies used in supply chain management. So we have almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I have tried to uh, add I have already added more strategy, but try to make the video and try to make the lecture compact. So I try to remove all other strategies also. So I have only put those strategies which I think, which I believe that these are the most important, and you can say that are mostly used in the market, or you can say that are common in the usage of the in common as a usage of the manager. So let's see the types of strategies used in supply chain management. Let's first of all we have supply chain network strategy. First of all, let's read the name: supply chain network strategy. Second, procurement strategy, inventory management strategy, logistics strategy, demand planning strategy, production strategy, risk management strategy, technology strategy. uh, Next we have sustainability strategy, customer service strategy, cost leadership strategy, like agility and flexibility strategy, lean strategy. So let's discuss one by one all of these. Supply chain network strategy, like location strategy, outsourcing and insourcing. In network we talk about location, like what location and what type of areas or what type of mapping we should do in network strategy. So outsourcing, and for that we mainly go for outsource or sometimes insource. In the supply chain we mostly hire for this networking, we basically hire for some outsourcing, like companies or vendors, or we can outsource our product, or you can say that like sales mostly done by the outsourcing, or you can say that the distribution is mainly done by the outsourcing, or insourcing, like it mainly done inside of the company. So in supply chain network we talk about the location strategy, and in location we mainly talk about the resource outsourcing and insourcing. It come in the location, or you can say that the mapping, or in the network strategy. Secondly, we talk about the procurement strategy, which is supplier selection and management. That in procurement, that which from where we should buy, or from which supplier you can we talking about a supplier selection, that we have, and there are a lot of suppliers in the market, and for our better product, for the better quality, and for the better pricing. So the supply selection is very much important in the strategy of the you can say the supply chain management. So this is the supplier selection and management. Third, inventory management strategy. You can talk about the just in time inventory. We have to manage our inventory, and we should put all that things in our warehouse, or in our inventory that are useful with for the production purpose, and not only for the production purpose, just also to enhance the efficiency and improvement of the product. Okay, if you put other elements which are not in use, so you can say that they are wastage, or they are just not only the wastage, but they are also you can say that acquiring the space of that warehouse. Okay, so that inventory management strategy we mainly use the just in time strategy. Okay, let's talk about the logistics strategy: reverse logistics, third party logistics. So it's in logistics strategy, we have already discussed the logistics chapter in very detail. So if we this is a simple short part of small part of the logistics strategy, that's the reverse logistics. Is like if any product that is reversed, just returned from that company, so it's also have to be managed, so that should be put in the strategy, that if that product is coming back to the company or to the factory, so what should be done with that product? It should be recycled, or it should be sell to the other person in the low price, or different type of thing should be done by the companies. Or third party logistics, in logistics like third party or 3PL, 4PL, 2PL, it depends on the logistics, that what type of strategy should be you can say that adopt by the companies. Let's talk about the demand planning strategy. Forecasting demand, like you know that in demand is the most important thing for any kind of you can the supply chain management, because without forecasting or without demand of the customer, if the forecast is done in the wrong way, so that not only affect the company profitability, but also affect the long term, but not also affect the long term, but also other on the other hand, it you can say that the company is not going to make the great profit, or the handsome profit, if the forecast is not done on the correct way. So demand planning strategy involve forecasting is a very key element for that, because the demand of the customer, in what sense it's like, you can say that the demand is like, you can say that festival demand or regular demand, or depend on the demand of the customer. So forecasting is very much necessary in the supply chain. So it's also put in the strategy type. Next, talking about the production strategy, make to order and make to stock. Like make to order, like we, for example, we talking about, we got any kind of order from our vendor or from our customer. So customer mainly need that product on that demand. So he or she, or the customer give the demand. So on that demand, if that production is done and the demand of the customer, so it put in the make to order, like this is the demand of the customer and this have to be finished. So this is known as the make to order. And make to stock is like that without any demand of the customer, it's like for the long term, or you can say that the manufacturing is done on the forecasting purpose. So that is known as the make to stock, or like you can say that it's a regular production, or the regular manufacturing of that product. So it's also come in the part of the strategy. We are talking about the types of strategy, so this is also known as the production strategy. So let's talk next, which is the risk management strategy, contingency planning, or you can say that the eventually happening, or sometime you can say that that unpredictable risk, you can say that happen to the company, or to any kind of supply chain, to the vendor, to the customer. So that type of strategy, to also the thing is that to risk management, to manage that risk. So different type of strategies used to make to compensate, or you can say to mitigate that risk. If the risk is not managed, so that risk is going to be create lot of hurdles, lot of you can say that losses to the company. So avoiding any kind of risk, so the company mainly use a risk management strategy to avoid any kind of losses. So let's talk about the next, which is the technology strategy. Technology strategy, like in current era, there's a huge boom, or you can say that the advancement in AI or automation. So most of the companies start working, start spending a lot of money in the research purpose, or you can say that any research is R&D. So R&D to improve their production and to improve their quality. So for the improvement of that, so they mainly work on the technology, and technology, they are mainly going on the automation. And what are the advantage of the automation? With the help of automation, you can save your labor costs fund, because if you make any machine on which make 100 units, instead of if because one machine make 100 units at a time in a day, instead of labor they mainly used to make the 10, 20, 30, 40. But that labor also make any lots of mistakes. But if you talk about the automation, or if you put the one machine, so there are the less chances that machine is going to make you can say that error free, and the less chances for the mistakes. So automation and the technology advancement is also the part of you can say that the type of strategy. You can also put it in the strategy. So adopting of technology, automation is coming to the strategy. Next we're talking about the sustainability strategy. Talk about the green supply chain, or you say that how to save the environment, and by using different type of systems like solar systems, or you talk about like to reduce the environmental health. So sustainability things are also coming the part of the strategy. Next, talking about the customer service strategy, that what's that? Order fulfillment strategy, lead time reduction strategy. So you can, if the thing is, if the customer is happy, if your customer is happy with your product, if the customer is retained with your service or with your product, so your that come in the part of the customer strategy, because many companies use different type of strategy to make the customer retain to, or on the other hand, in new customer retention, or you can say customer acquisition. So different type of strategies are also used in that. There is also a fulfillment strategy, and the lead time reduction is also the part of the customer service strategy. Let's talk about cost leadership strategy, which is the cost reduction. If you talk about the cost reduction, so it's also the one of the biggest thing that involve that exists in the supply chain management. Like if the cost is reduced, how the cost is going to reduce by, if the like my question is how the cost reduce. The cost is reduced by, you can say that, by focusing on your different type of production techniques, or you can say that your labor costs, or on different strategies used to reduce the cost. Like you can monitor the different steps of production, or the work progress, or the efficiency of the work, and that if that you can say, if you talk about the you can say that there was a strategy like I'm forgetting that name. So continuous improvement, kaizen. If you just mainly work on the kaizen, so you can also reduce the cost, because in kaizen you are mainly doing continuously improvement, at how you can just make different type of changes, and how you can perform different steps to make the cost reduction and to make your work improvement. So the cost reduction is also the main part of the strategy, because if the cost is reduced, you can just make a lot of profit if you're reducing your cost. So that cost reduction is also the part of the strategy. Talking about the agility and flexibility strategy, mainly you are well aware about the agility and flexibility, like how you can make your supply chain more flexible and more easiest way, and different type of planning can be done to make your supply chain more quicker and more easily. So agility and flexibility strategy is also the part of agility and flexibility is also the part of the strategy. So next we're talking about a lean strategy. Lean strategy, we have already discussed this. So lean strategy mean like waste reduction, continuous improvement. Kaizen is also the part of the lean strategy, that if you're reducing your waste reduction mean, because how you can reduce the waste, you can use that waste in and the recycling purpose. So if you're recycling your waste, so that recycled waste can also make the money, can also reduce your cost in making the new product. So the lean strategy is also most important part of, you can say that, the part of the supply chain management. So these are the few strategies that I have discussed in detail. Let's talk about the risk. What are the risks? First, read what risk. Supply chain risk refer to the potential disruption. Risk mean disruption that can impact the flow of goods and service. These risks can come from both internal and external sources and can lead to delays, increased cost, or reputational damage. Simple definition? I try to make the simple definition. We already know what understand risk. Risk means disruption. Impact on what? On the goods and service. So let's see that types of risk in supply chain management. Firstly, we have talked about the strategies. Secondly, talk about the risk factor. So first risk, supply risk, is you can evaluate about the supply failure, delivery delay. So this is also a part of the one important part of the supply risk. What supply risk? That is the delivery delay. Second, demand risk, forecast error, customer behavior changes. Like for example, in season wise the customer demand, and like in recently there is a trend. If we talk about in textile, Farsi shalwar, you can say that I'm not getting the word properly. So that's a trend. That trend come in the Eid, and trend changes time by time. The trend changes, and the behavior, the mind of the customer changes. So what demand risk, forecast error, like if the talk about the previous Eid, if there was a different demand of the customer, different mindset in current Eid, this Eid, or in the festival, there's a different you can say that the demand of the customer. In upcoming festival next year, in year to year, the demand and you can say that the mind and the behavior of the customer changes. So there must be, you can say that the risk, talking about the demand risk, forecast error. This is like last year there was the company make 100 units next, and that was, you can say that in the current year company again make the 100 units, but in this year, due to the festival change in the tradition, so there is, like you can say that the forecast error can be also the big trouble for the company. If the company forecast wrongly, so it can give a huge you can say that disruption in the company's benefit, in the making of the money profit. So this is also the demand forecasting risk. It's also the part of the risk. Next, talking about the operational risk, equipment failure, labor shortage. This is also risk. Next, talking about the logistics risk, freight delay, port congestions, or there must be any kind of, you can say that there you can also add in the risk logistics risk. So next, talking about the financial risk, currency volatility, credit default. This is also part of the risk. Next, we're going to have strategic risk, poor supply choices, inflexible network. Next, we have the compliance risk, violation of law standards. Next, we're going to talk about the cyber security risk, hacking data branches. Next, we're going to have the environmental risk, disasters, climate change. Now we have the reputational risk, product recalls, ethical scandals. This is also the part of the risk. Innovation risk, tech obsolescence, market disruption. Means like innovation, like tech obsolescence, like talking about the companies is imported machine. If we talk about the manufacturing company, textile manufacturing company, the company company import that machine which mainly you can say that print 100 meter of that cloth. Okay, after next year a new technology come, a new machine come. Okay, innovation, new machinery come in the market, and that machine make 100 time better work, 100 time better efficiency than the previous machinery. So tech obsolescence, like that previous year machinery was obsolete in the market, or you can say that the trend, that obsolete, which give you that not only give you a huge loss, but also make you in the risk, because you are not making that profit as compared to the currently machine. If you adopt the current machinery, and if you use the current machinery, so you start making a lot of profit. And market disruption, that's is also the part of risk. Now talk about the identification, risk identification, supply chain, that how can we identify the risk. So first of all, we mainly do the brainstorming, like different stages, new ideas. We should think researches in brainstorming and say that or innovate or discussion that give you new ideas. Checklist to make sure of all confirmation done, like identifying that or something that we have done all this thing, so we are identifying that only, oh yeah, one thing was not done. So checklist is also the most important thing. Two, you can say that know that one thing was left, so this one thing can be make any you can say that disruption, or that can then one thing that was we have left check one checklist we have left can create our risk, and so that risk identify with the help of the checklist. Now not talk about the SWOT analysis. In SWOT analysis we know that we talk about the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Next we're talking about the scenario analysis, hypothetical situation. In hypothetical situation, like we talk about that uncertainty, or you can say that in the future predictions. Historical data, past incidents is identifying that in past 10 years or 5 years and 15 years, these were part of the data, you can say that can identify a risk factor. So next talking about the expert judgment, specialized area. Next, supply chain mapping, full supply network. Like full supply network means from initial to the end, from the initial, from the forecasting to the procurement, then the inventory, then warehouses, then production, then packaging, and each and everything from the whole supply chain network. Supply chain mapping, as you can say that the whole supply chain fully supply network. Okay. Next, talk about the risk identification supply chain. We have surveys and questionnaire, in internal and external feedback, audit and inspection, operational and compliance risk, KPI monitoring, performance based risk, AI tools and Internet of Things, real time risk. We check on this on it. Cybersecurity assessment, IT and digital infrastructure, root cost analysis, past disruptions, regulatory reviews, legal and compliance frameworks, survey and questionnaires already discussed over here. I think I have repeated this point. So these are all, you can say, the risk identification. With the help of this we can identify the risk factors. Now talking about the risk mitigation, that how can we mitigate our risk. Mitigation means, you can say that reduce the risk. So these are the few things. A supplier diversify supply, reduce supplier dependency. Like most of the company mainly purchases the product, or they mainly procure their supplies from one a customer or one supplier or one vendor. So dependency of the one supplier is also one of the biggest risks. So depending on one supplier is not the best thing. Having different suppliers can mitigate your risk. Okay. Second, safety stock, buffer inventory, absorb demand, supply stocks. And we have already discussed the buffer inventory and the stock inventory. Modal transport, like avoid logistics disruption, use different type of transportation systems. Supplier audits, monitor and ensure quality control and quality assurance. So supply audits, how you can check the quality, you can assure that quality of that supplier. Forecasting tools, predict demand accuracy. So these forecasting tools help you to mitigate the risk. Okay. Risk sharing, real time disruption monitoring. Okay, like you checking, you can say that monitoring the real time risk sharing, real time disruptions. Training and education, this is one of the most important thing, enhancing human response capability. If you are training your labor, giving it training and education is helping not only the company but also improve the efficiency of the work, of the work of the labor, but also not only the work but also improve the efficiency by, if you're just training your employees, if you're giving your education, giving a good education to the employees, so enhancing the human responses capability. Scenario planning, prepare for uncertainties. Lean agile methods, improve flexibility and speed. Insurance hedging, cover financial and commodity risk, ensuring if you are making insurance of your company, of your machinery, of your assets. So if there is going to be any kind of risk, so that going to be, if you have the risk insurance, so it mitigate your risk factor. Cover financial and commodity risk. Cross training, prevent labor related disruptions. Check your labor issues and solve them on the time. Inventory segmentation, custom risk strategy by product types. Automation and tech, increase efficiency and consistency. We have already discussed this in previous slides. Legal regulatory compliance, avoid fines and supply chain stoppage. Environmental planning, manage natural disaster risk. So this is all from our this chapter, and I hope I try to cover all the most important points in this chapter, and try to make this chapter short and more attractive. And thank you very much for listening this chapter, and I hope that you learned a lot of new things and new type of strategies, and how to mitigate the risk, identify, and strategies is and strategic planning. So this is all from this chapter. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz. Take care. Bye bye.